So, what is actually JChem for Excel? These are the main features what we actually do at the moment. So, first of all, we would like to have easy handling of structures inside Excel. It's actually not that easy to implement from a development point of view, but I think we found quite a nice way of doing it. Second, it's quite important to import from databases. So we support JChem base and JChem cartridge databases, import from and export to files, do structure filtering, air group decomposition. We offer a wide range of custom chemical Excel functions. Basically, we cover almost all, and in the future, all chemical terms functions available in the JChem library. And we have a new feature, which I'm going to also demonstrate, unique image and structure resulting Excel functions, because normal Excel function resulting in a number or text or whatever, but we found a way to implement these special kind of functions. So, what's new actually in JChem for Excel since the last year? So the hardest part of this Excel-related development is to make the architecture of the application and to find out how to handle these structures inside Excel. So compared to the first versions, we made quite a big changes in this. So we use actually a different approach in Excel to put the structures in. Actually, we don't even put them in. We simply draw on the Excel window. That results in major improvements in performance. For example, in import speed and doing any kind of operations. Actually, you can handle any number of structures inside Excel. Actually, you have only the limits of Excel 2003, but 2007, I don't know, the limitation of rows is quite high. So actually, the structures are moved and resized with cells. So if you resize the cell, they resize as well. And we also support the undo feature. For example, if you delete and press undo, the structures come back. And we also have a unique feature, which is the structure edit undo. So if you perform, which I'm going to demonstrate soon as well. So what is new in the forthcoming version 1.1.2? Actually, we worked very hard to put a lot of features in this release. And the first point is actually, it's a surprise because we had to, unfortunately, we had a problem with our current editor because, as you may know, we don't have a .NET-based editor. So we had to find several workarounds to what to use actually in JChem for Excel. In the past, we used Marvin Applet inside an Internet Explorer, and we also had we used Marvin Beans through the OLE-based editing. But now, because of some technical problems, we decided to go for it, and we included the initial version of Marvin.NET in JChem for Excel. The second point, we included the structured drawing settings or drawing options, basically the same options what you can find in Marvin View in Marvin Sketch. As I mentioned, the image and structure resulting functions, we improved and added new features to the copy-paste. So it will be possible to copy structures into Marvin and also to other popular chemical editors, such as ChemDraw or IsisDraw. You will be able to copy structures to other Office applications with the help of the OLE technology. And we also implemented the workbook and workbook copy, which was actually missing in the previous releases. Another requested feature was that we should be able to convert SMILE strings into structures actually in an Excel sheet. So if you have certain files in SMILEs, it would be very nice to convert it with a function. Actually, in this release, we are going to offer an initial API to JChem for Excel. So what it means, for example, if you want to extend it or add some additional features in either VBA in Excel or from other any external applications, you will be able to communicate with the running instance of Excel and JChem for Excel inside it. Initially, we included only 3 functions, one for actually adding structures into JChem for Excel. The second one is actually performing an import from an Excel, from a file into JChem for Excel. And the third one is getting structures out from JChem for Excel. So if you have an application through this API, you can actually communicate with the JChem for Excel instance. And last, we changed how our add-in works, and it results actually in a fast startup at the moment. We wanted to go further with this, but we didn't have the time. So actually what it means, the fast startup, we don't load the whole JChem for Excel as Excel starts. We only load a fast native add-in. So actually, if you don't want to use JChem for Excel, simply Excel, it won't disturb you actually that the loading time of this JChem for Excel actually took around, I think, 10 seconds in the previous releases. So in the next release, it won't be disturbing. It will load very fast. And later on, we would like to also add to actually load the JChem for Excel in the background, so actually you won't be able to notice whether it starts. So I hope it will be quite a nice feature. So next I would like to show you some demonstration. Basically, I'm going to cover almost all parts of JChem for Excel. Unfortunately, I couldn't set up my VPN connection to a hosted database that we have back in Hungary, but I'm going to show you also the form for importing from external databases. Okay. Just make some space here. And start Excel. So as you can see, it came up quite fast comparing to the previous releases. Just a few words what we changed in the user interface. We also added the ChemAxon license manager. So you will be able to actually install or manage for your licenses from here. And I'm going to start the demonstration actually how you put structures inside JChem for Excel. So simply open up the Marvin.NET editor. So this is how the Marvin.NET editor looks like, as Ákos showed you actually yesterday. And I simply put the structures in. Oh, this is not too good for the mouse. Can I request a piece of paper from here? Thanks. It's much better. So as you can see, it inserted the structure. You can resize the structure by resizing the Excel cell itself. If you drag down, it will fill into the other cells as well. You can resize those. You can edit the structures by simply double-clicking on them, and it will bring up the editor. Oh, this screen is a bit too small at the moment. And if you change your mind, as I mentioned, you can undo the structure editing. Oops. Something went wrong here. I will try again. I tried it 100 times and it worked. Anyway, what I wanted to demonstrate there is actually the undo of structure addition. I had some problems with it. Let's see if it works for the deletion. It works. Okay, I'm going to show you how is it possible to copy into other external editors. So we added several points into a context menu. So if I click copy structure, and let's see, for example, the odd ISIS draw, and paste the structure here. If I edit the structure, I have to select actually the copy mol and Ericsson file to the clipboard if I want to copy it back from ISIS for Excel. And you have to use actually the paste structure option to paste back the structure. In the future, we will try to integrate it basically with normal Excel copy and paste operations, but it's much more sophisticated to do that, but we will try our best. So the other thing I wanted to show you that how is it possible to copy a structure into Microsoft Word. So I'm going to actually draw a special structure for it because Ákos requested me to demonstrate how actually the .NET AntiAliasing works in a Microsoft Office Word document. So as you can see, this structure contains some crossing bonds. So the reason I chose this that it will be able to demonstrate how the clipping and also the anti-aliasing and the atom labels are correct if you copy it over to, for example, Microsoft Word. So here you can see it looks very nice. Even if you apply some background color, it will be a nice transparent and anti-aliased image. Okay, that was all about handling structures inside Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to show you how is it possible to import files from external sources. Basically, we support most of the well-known formats such as SD files, MRV, list of smile strings, and it is also possible to import, for example, a list of UPAC names as well. So I'm going to pick an SD file. Here in the first sheet, basically, you can specify where you want to place the structures. You can specify which workbook, which worksheet. You can also append to an existing list of structures. In the second tab, you can pick basically which columns you want to import. And here it goes. Actually, it imported the list of structures. Next, I want to show you how is it possible to, for example, import a list of UPAC names. I'll just show you how it looks in Notepad. So just several UPAC names separated by new line. And here we go, it imported the UPAC names. In the same way, you can export from a worksheet to an external file. Yes, John? Oh my God. I don't know. So you can export to an external file. I'm not going to show you that. If I have 2 minutes left, I'm going to show you the new exciting features inside JChem for Excel. So, actually, as I mentioned, we implemented several special functions which result in a structure or an image. So I'm going to show you how is it possible to display a structural framework of a structure. I'm going to pick the JC-Bemis-Murko function, select the structure I want to work on, and by double-clicking here, it will display all the frameworks of these structures. Actually, if you want, you can further, these calculated structures can be used as an input for other JChem Excel functions. So let's say I want to know the heavy atom count of the structural framework itself. So I select this, click here, and actually displays the atom count on the calculated structure. So other usages of these calculated structures are the standardizer option, what we put in here. So it's here. So what you can see here, actually, it's a transformation of the structure using the standardizer rules. For example, these are the simple ones. If you have a structure and you put an action string, what you want to do with it, and in the C column, you can see basically the resulting transformed structure. There are many options and action string available. You can look them up on the ChemAxon site. But you can also do very sophisticated and actually multi-step transformations with the help of these functions. And finally, the most interesting part for the use of these functions, actually, we implemented the Reactor functionality inside JChem for Excel. So what you can see here, basically, we have a reaction or generic reaction or reaction template. We have reagents in the A column and in the first row. And this function, basically, it reacts together these two reagents here based on the reaction template defined in A1. And if you double-click and also if you drag it to the right side, it will display you all the resulting products for this reaction. This function is actually quite sophisticated, so you can also put in selectivity or reactivity rules. If you edit the structures here, actually the resulting product will change. You can also display a certain number of the products. So if you have moved more products in the reaction, you can specify which product you want to display. And you can also display, if there is a multiple output possibilities of the reaction, you can specify which possibility to display. Okay, I think I ran out of time, and if you have questions, please ask. And if you also require additional information, we actually will be happy to give you a webinar or an introduction through the web. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tamás. Questions about JChem for Excel?
You mentioned you have an API. So
yes.
Would that be available for another add-in if I have my own add-in doing my own stuff, can I interact with?
Yes, yes. You have it in VBA? Yes, yes, yes.
Well, not VBA. It will be in in VB, because
Okay, yes,
VBA
yes, yes.
is gone, right?
Maybe Chip has a different opinion about VBA.
Okay.
I was wondering, I have experience of ISIS for Excel and Accord for Excel, and they do not work well together. How well does this particular plugin or add-in work with other add-ins, do you think?
Actually, we haven't tried, but we will try it together with other applications. Yes, because, for example, ISIS for Excel does the same as we do. So they draw the structures on Excel. Accord for Excel is using a different approach for this. So I cannot exactly answer the questions. We have to try this out.
Okay, any other questions? You talked about row limits. Was there any column limits that you had with Excel?
Actually, 2003, I think, has a limit around 60,000, but I don't know about 2007. It's around 1 million. So it's yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for the exact
65,000 columns.
Yeah.
Right. And that's still an issue, 256 is the total columns? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic.